You know that old saying in the world of investing, the one you hear all the time, but if you're honest, doesn't quite seem to make sense at first? Well, today we're going to unpack it.
You've definitely heard this one before. The first $100,000 is the hardest. It gets tossed around by experienced investors like it's some universal truth. But let's be real. On the surface, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it?
I mean, $100,000 is $100,000, right? The value doesn't change. So why on earth would the first one be any harder to get than the second or the third or the 10th? Well, the answer to that question, it unlocks the entire secret to building wealth.
So let's dive right in. This first phase is what I like to call the slow grind, and it feels exactly like it sounds. This is that period where your financial progress feels like it is 100% up to you and you alone.
This chart right here shows you exactly what I'm talking about. Let's imagine you hustle, you work hard, and you manage to save and invest $6,000 in your first year. Now, look at the growth from your investments, maybe a couple $100. Almost all the value you see is coming directly from your own pocket, from your direct effort. Your money isn't really doing the work for you, not yet anyway.
And honestly, this part can be really discouraging. It feels like you're pushing a giant boulder up a hill and it's barely even moving. But what you're really doing during this grind is laying an absolutely crucial foundation, piece by piece. You're building the launch pad for everything that comes next.
And what's this launch pad for exactly? It's for the single most powerful engine of wealth creation that exists, compounding.
So, what is this magical engine? It's compounding. Put really simply, compounding is when your money starts making its own money. The earnings you get from your investments, they start to earn their own earnings. It becomes this powerful, self-fueling loop of growth.
And this incredible feedback loop, well, it eventually leads to a tipping point. This is that amazing moment when the balance of power finally shifts. From you doing all the heavy lifting to your money starting to pull its own significant weight.
Let's make this crystal clear with a really simple comparison. Imagine two investors. Investor A has just crossed that huge first milestone. They have $100,000. Investor B is a bit further down the road with $500,000. Now, for this example, let's just say they both earn a solid 8% return for the year.
For investor A, that 8% return generates $8,000. Now just stop and think about that. That's an extra $8,000 that was earned without lifting another finger. That's fantastic. The foundation is officially working for you.
But now, take a look at investor B. The exact same 8% return on their portfolio generates a whopping $40,000. That is more than many people's annual salary earned completely passively just from their money working for them.
And this table just lays it all out, plain and simple. The same percentage return creates wildly different dollar amounts. Once your money hits a certain critical mass, the growth starts to become self-sustaining. It becomes a force of nature.
So how does this actually build up over the long run? Well, the best way to picture it is with the classic investment snowball. Imagine you're at the top of a huge snowy hill with just a small ball of snow, one that you had to pack together with your own two hands.
As you give it a little push downhill, it starts to roll, right? It picks up more snow, getting bigger and bigger, and moving faster and faster all on its own. That is your portfolio. This timeline shows it perfectly. The time it takes to get to your first $100,000 is by far the longest stretch. But the second $100,000, that comes much faster. And the third, even faster still. The growth isn't a straight line. It's a curve that gets steeper and steeper over time. It's exponential.
So the takeaway here is actually pretty simple, but it is profound. The beginning is all about you building that base with your own savings. And yes, it is going to feel slow. But if you stick with it, you reach this amazing point where the growth just explodes, and the incredible power of compounding starts doing the heavy lifting for you.
So, how do you actually survive that slow, initial grind when progress feels almost invisible? It really comes down to two simple but incredibly powerful habits. First up, patience. It's the conviction to just trust the process, even when the big results aren't obvious yet.
And second, its essential partner, consistency. The simple act of contributing regularly, month in and month out, is what packs that snowball nice and tight and gets it rolling down the hill.
Together, these two habits, patience and consistency, they aren't just helpful little tips. They are the absolute bedrock of your entire financial future. So I'll leave you with just this one thought to take away with you, knowing that the hardest part is right at the very beginning, and knowing that this incredible, life-changing acceleration is just waiting for you on the other side.
What will your patience and consistency build?